Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll also find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam, and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day when you're working through your exam paper. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. As ever, there's lots more to come. And so now we're going to continue with this sample paper provided by the ABRSM to give you a look at the newly revised exam paper layout. And so we're going to be moving on to page 2. So if you turn with me to page 2, and we'll make a start on question 3. So there are a few clues in this question to make sure that you get this correct. After each note, so we're writing it one after the other, we're writing a note higher, we always count up to make the named melodic interval. Remember, a melodic interval comes one after another like a melody, whereas a harmonic interval comes one on top of the other like a harmony or a chord. So, and also they've given us one as an example, and so if we just follow their lead, we'll be just fine. The key is G major. We're always counting from G, and remember, counting the degrees of the scale, we're counting the first degree of the scale as note 1. So we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to be absolutely doubly sure, to double check yourself, you could just sketch out on some scrap paper the steps of the scale. There's an octave, so we know that G is 1, A is 2, B is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so here we've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can double check that and you can see that E is the 6th. So that's also a way of doing it. So here we're in basic left, but the principle remains the same. We're counting from G. 1 is G, 2, 3, and 3 is the B, and so we know that's correct. So now from G, an octave is going to take us right back to G, 8 notes higher. So to make sure we get that right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And notice I'm positioning these one after the other just like they've done, so that it's a melodic interval, not a harmonic interval. So although we're swapping from treble to bass, the principle remains the same. We're just counting from G, the steps up the scale, to make the interval or the distance between those two notes as named. So here is G. We need to make a fourth. 1, 2 is the line, 3 is the space, so 4 needs a ledger line. We've run out off the stave, and so we have to do sort of an extension rung and add a ledger line. So that's G, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see that C is the 4th, so we know that's correct. So if G is the first, the next door note A is the 2nd, and so we can see that just one step away, and then a 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 takes us to D, and we can see that that's a 5th. So if you want to just double check yourself, you can do that, but so long as you count the given note as note 1 and count line, space, you can't really go wrong. So that's that question completed. Let's move on to the next one. Now we're asked to add a rest at the places marked with a star to make each bar complete. There are 2 separate melodies, so there are 2 separate time signatures, so we're going to have to do 2 lots of maths here. Now maths is not my strong point, so I'll just show you my little visual clue for helping me to get my fractions added up correctly. We should have 2 crotchet beats, 2 quarter notes per bar. So first of all, we've got to see what's missing, and then we have to be careful to allocate the rests appropriately to show where each new beat falls. So here we've got a quaver and a quaver, 2/8 notes give us 1 beat, and then here we've got a half a beat and a quarter of a beat. Now here's a whole beat, and if we divide that into quarters, we've got a half a beat, that's our quaver or 1/8 note, and then we've got a quarter of a beat, that's our semiquaver or 16th note, and we can see that we've got a quarter of a beat missing to complete that whole beat, and so we know that we need a quarter of a beat rest, which is a semiquaver or a 16th note rest. So that's that one. So now let's look at this bar. We've got 2 halves of a beat and these 2 quavers or these 2 1/8 notes. So those together combine to give us 1 crotchet beat, 1 quarter note. We should have 2, so we're a whole beat missing, and so that's our crotchet rest, our quarter note rest. Now here we've got a completely empty bar, so you might be mistaken into thinking I'll write a 2 beat rest. However, that wouldn't quite award you the full marks, because if you remember, a whole note or a semi-beat rest, which technically is 4 beats, which hangs off this 4th line, is also kind of the shorthand way for a full bars rest, regardless of the time signature. So you'd need to do that semi-breve or whole note rest to get full marks. I remember the difference, that the 4 beat rest hangs off the 4th line, and so although it's technically too big for this time signature, that's also just a quick way of saying full bars rest, no need to count. Let's move on to the next question. Well, the next part of this question. So here we should be adding up to 4 beats in a bar, 4 crotchet beats. So here you can see we've got 3 quarters and a quarter, which are beamed together. That's a clue. We've just got 1 beat straight away. If you want to just double check that, if we look at our whole beat divided into quarters, we've got a half a beat there. The dot after the note makes it half as long again, so there's our quarter, and then there's our remaining quarter. And the rule is that they are beamed together in a 1 beat group, so we know just at a glance that's 1 beat, that's 1 beat, that's 1 beat. So we've got 1, 2, 3 beats, we're 1 beat short, and so a crotchet or a quarter note rest is what's required. So here we've got again another section that gives us 1 beat. We can see we've already done the maths for that. We've got 1 beat there, we've got 1 beat there, we've got 2 beats in total now. There should be 4, so we're 2 beats missing. It wouldn't be quite correct to do 2 crotchet beats, 2 1 beats. We can do a 2 beat rest. So there's our minim rest or half note rest. If you remember though, the rule is that we only use that so long as it doesn't cross over the middle part of the bar, which it doesn't, because we've got 2 beats there, 2 beats there. So we just have to make sure that it doesn't straddle over the middle part of the bar. Because it doesn't, that's the acceptable answer. There we go then. So now we've got a little bit of revision in key signatures. And so there's no shortcut but just to learn these. And regardless of what the clef is, really just the key signature or the absence of a key signature should tell you. So when there's 1 sharp, it's always F sharps. So when there's 2 sharps, it's always F sharps and C sharps. So here we know without even working it out that's F sharp and C sharp. If you want to work it out, you can see every good boy does his football F, F-A-C, but we should know at a glance really that 2 sharps is F sharps and C sharps. 1 flat is always B flat. And it's really just a matter of revising these so you know which major key signatures these represent, so that we get the major scale with the correct progression of tones and semitones. That's why we have to add these in to make the correct major scale pattern. So I suggest you just have a go with that. Test yourself. If you go wrong, it doesn't matter. It's better to learn by your mistakes. Just have a crack at it and see if you can just figure this out. Just test yourself and then we'll check through those together. So I'm hoping you've had a quick go of that. And now we'll check that through. So 2 sharps, F sharps and C sharps is D major. No sharps or flats, that's easy peasy C major. 2 sharps, we've already answered that. The fact that it's treble clef doesn't change anything, so we've already done the thinking and we know that this is D major. We've already answered this. We know that no sharps or flats is C major. And 1 flat is F major. You could think F for flat. That might help you to remember that 1 flat is F major. There we go. And that's that question completed. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I hope that this is helping you. I hope it's of benefit to your studies. I hope that you're enjoying it. I certainly am. If you can give me a like, that would be fab. Please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.